Hey guys, welcome back to another update video on my 2016 Honda Accord Coupe here, the 6.6 that I got a couple of months ago. Decided to bring you guys another video because in the last one I had recently gotten the car and it was still kind of under construction, but now it's about done. So I have quite a few things I'd like to go over in this video now that the car is basically sorted out the way I would like. So the first thing I'd like to mention is back when I made the last video, I was still dialing in the suspension, and I am pretty OCD when it comes to like ride height and alignments and stuff. And when you install a new set of coilovers, that's just kind of the way it goes. You have to mess with it a few times to get it everything sitting and driving the way you would like. And so I finally got that set up, and of course, like I mentioned in the last video, I put the same coilovers I had on the last Accord on here, the Teen Flex Z's, and it took a few alignments and trips to the custom alignment shop to adjust the ride height and all of that good stuff. But the car is finally sitting exactly how I would like it to. It's pretty much got, sorry that it's so loud right here, there's a freeway, but it pretty much has a one-finger wheel gap all the way around the car, which is exactly what I was looking for and pretty much how my last Accord was set up. So I am very happy with that. And then of course, after I got the ride height dialed in and such, I got, of course, an alignment at the same time. And so the car is not only looks really good, but it's also driving really well now too. So that is pretty awesome. So I'm really glad that that's finally sorted out because it cost me a lot of money and time, but it is what it is. Moving on, I mentioned in the last video that I was going to get the windows tinted, and I finally did that. As you can see, I did everything except the front windshield, obviously. I went with 15% all around in ceramic tint. Not only does it look good, it blocks out a lot of the heat as well. So that's kind of nice, but as you can see, we've got nice tinted windows now. I had 18% on the last car, so it's not too different, but that was done actually the day after I made the previous video. And then the only other small thing that I added to the car were the splash guards that I did not have on here when I bought the car. And you can see them here, obviously. Now, I have a pretty aggressive wheel setup, so they don't block all of the mud from getting splattered on the car, but they're certainly quite a bit better than not having any at all. So I put those on there. That was a Honda accessory of sorts. And then the only other exterior thing I really want to mention is I got the car detailed today, actually. I have a friend I used to work with at the Lexus dealership I used to work with, and he's a very good detailer, so I had him take care of the car today. You can't really tell, I guess, because we are not in direct sunlight, but you know, it's better for video, so that's the reason I did that. But the car has been detailed. It did a full clay buff and wax on it, so all of the very messed up paint is taken care of now. There were swirl marks all over the whole car, and it was especially noticeable on the hood because, you know, that's the biggest panel on the car. But the paint was very screwed up, probably from the dealership trying to buff it and whatnot, but it's all been fixed now. Of course, you know, the paint looks great, as you can see, and again, we also clay barred it, so it's smoother than a baby's butt now, which is really nice. But other than that, the the imperfections in the paint really show themselves now that it's all cleaned up and such. This car has been in an accident before. I'm not sure that I mentioned that in the original video. So, you know, both bumpers have been repainted, and I believe the passenger side of the car has as well. So there are a lot of imperfections in the paint, which I'm now noticing a lot more now that the car is all cleaned up. But you know what? It is what it is. The car looks way better than it did, that's for sure. And of course, you know, it's a car, so it's not going to be perfect forever. And it's also 5 years old now, so it is what it is. But this beautiful Still Night Pearl color really shines now that it's been detailed and actually cared for a little bit. So I'm really happy about that as well. So that's pretty much it for the exterior stuff. I'll go ahead and do one full walk around of the whole car, and then we'll take a look at some mechanical stuff. But the car is pretty much all done now. The only other thing that I don't have for my last car are the Stop Tech brakes and Pause Quiet brake pads, but the brakes on this car are pretty much brand new, so I'm just going to leave them alone for now until they get a little more wear on them, I think. But the car looks great. I am really happy with how it turned out. Obviously, it's set up pretty much the same as my last car, but that was my goal, you know, because I'm a fan of how my last car was set up, obviously. So there we go. Nice little walk around. I'm up against the wall over here, so we'll go ahead and just walk back this way, but she's looking really, really good. I absolutely love this car. I do not regret buying it at all. even though it cost me a lot of money to get it set up the way I want and maintained the way I want to. But absolutely love it. It's a great car, and I will never sell this one. This is my practical dream car for all intents and purposes, so very happy with that. Alright fellas, well now let's go ahead and go in under the hood, because there was a maintenance item that I took care of recently, so we'll go ahead and do that. Alright, now that we're under the ranch, I want to talk about the extensive work that I had done on the engine recently. Now, in the last video, of course I had mentioned that I had the clutch replaced and all of that good stuff, and that took care of this side of the engine, but while the dealership was replacing the clutch, they did let me know that my timing belt tensioner was starting to leak. And of course, if you just let that leak, it's a hydraulic tensioner, so once it runs out of fluid, the belt will become loose, and then the pistons will kiss the valves. So that is not ideal, obviously, and the car had 86,000 miles at the time, so it was getting fairly close to the timing belt needing done. So basically, I decided that I never want to worry about this for another 100,000 miles, so we pretty much took care of everything on the timing side of the engine. We did the timing belt, the water pump, the tensioner obviously, which is the original reason for the job, and the idler pulleys. And I also decided while we were in there, let's go ahead and reseal the oil pump on the engine, because on these J-Series engines, that's a pretty common leak point. So of course, while they had everything torn apart, the oil pump is run off the timing belt. So I had them take everything apart, you know, including the filter housing and the VTEC solenoid and all of that stuff, and the oil pan, of course, because that's also required for the job. So pretty much everything in the car got resealed, and so we shouldn't have any oil leaks, at least on that side of the engine, or the other side really, because I did the rear main seal as well. So basically what I'm trying to say is everything should be sorted out now. This car shouldn't need much more maintenance for a while. And of course, while the car was in the dealership, I also had them flush the brake fluid, and the coolant got done obviously with the water pump. So every fluid in this car has now been changed. We've got all new fluids and a fairly new battery and air filters and everything else. So maintenance wise, this car is pretty much dialed in. I should be able to just drive it and put a few, you know, tens of thousands of miles on it without any worries whatsoever, outside of oil changes and tire rotations and all stuff like that. But yeah, that was the big maintenance item that I had done under here. It was not cheap, of course. I took it to a dealership. I probably won't be doing that again, but you know, they did a good job and had it done within a day. So, you know, there is some like financial incentive for that, but that's pretty much it. The mechanicals of the car are now doing fine, and everything is up to snuff finally to my standards. So with that said, I'm pretty happy with how that turned out. And like I said, I now should be able to just drive this car and put some miles on it and not have to worry about it. I'm actually taking it to Phoenix in a couple of weeks, so that'll be fun. It's first road trip. But anyways, let's go ahead and move into the interior now. Not too much to say in there, but I did have my detail friend try and clean it up in here just a little bit. I had him condition the front seats, and also we tried to take care of the steering wheel a little bit, because I don't know if you guys may or may not remember, but this thing was extremely oily in the last video. Like, they just kind of loaded it up with Armor All, and it did not look very good. Now, you might be able to tell that it still doesn't look perfect. Of course, this wheel is kind of trashed, to be honest, and especially over here, there are some very, I guess they're heat damage, because if you look up on the headliner up here, can't really see it too well, but there is a mark from like a cigarette butt burning it. So I imagine this car was smoked in before, and so I imagine they had their cigarette pretty close to especially this area, because my detailer friend was telling me this looks like heat damage. So it doesn't look too great, but he was able to get some of the like oily shininess out of it, so it does look better. It's just not perfect, but not a big deal. If I really, really want to, I could replace the steering wheel, but of course that's quite expensive. But I'm just going to leave it for now. It doesn't really bother me. But other than that, in here, everything else looks the same. Like I said, we cleaned the seats as well. And then, yeah, let's go ahead and step inside real quick. So here we are. It's nice and clean, like I said. Still got the nice 6-speed shift knob and the Acuity boot collar, and of course the wrap center console. I love this shifter, actually. It's really nice. I really don't like the like cylindrical shape of the stock knob, so a nice round one like this is nice. Of course it is blue, which is my favorite color. Anyways, and it matches the car, obviously. So anyhow, let's go ahead and start up the car for you guys. Alright, there we are. So we are now sitting at 89,618 miles. We're about to break 90,000, and the car is doing great now. Like I said, with all of the up-to-date maintenance and stuff that I've been doing to it, it drives like a brand new car, truly. And the alignment shop I took it to got everything perfect, so it drives straight as an arrow too, which of course makes me happy. And I have been really enjoying this manual transmission as well. But yeah, everything's running great. Of course, we still have the Borla exhaust on the car, so that's doing nice as well. And really, there's not too much else I can say in here. Everything's just about the same as it has been before. But the car is doing great. I'm really happy with how everything turned out now, that everything is pretty much taken care of, and the car is sorted to my liking. So yeah, there you go. In the sun, you can kind of see how the paint pops now. Man, that looks really, really good. It looks so much better than it did before. But there you go, guys. She's looking really, really nice. It looks as good as it drives now, truly. So yeah, guys, that is gonna pretty much wrap it up. But I'd like to thank you guys for watching this video on my lovely Accord Coupe here. Absolutely love this car. Like I said, I have no plans of ever selling this one. This is my forever car as far as I'm concerned. So some others may come and go on the side, but this one will always be here. Anyhow, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. And of course, there will be more videos on this car coming later, but that's really all I have to update you guys on for now. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.